Welcome to the One Club Challenge. We're going to select a random course. Looks like it's going to be Spyglass Hill. It's going to be a tough one. And we're going to select a random club that we're going to play the entire hole out. We are going to switch clubs every hole, but once a club has been selected, it will be eliminated from the wheel. First hole here, we got a 533-yard par 5, and we are using a 9-iron. So it would be a bit of a challenge to get home in even just 3 shots. So we're going to try to maximize our distance here off the tee. And we are underway. Not the greatest tee shot to start, but we're going to hit the fairway. We didn't really maximize the big downhill off of this tee, so we're going to have to make up that distance somewhere else. Going to play this next one down there, chasing it down the fairway a good ways, better than the tee shot, but still going to leave us with an approach that we probably won't be able to reach the green, still about 210 out. Now, we're going to go with an interesting strategy here. Rather than chase this one as far down as possible, we're going to try to just lay it up to almost a full 9-iron so our approach shot could be a little bit easier. So trying to play it smart, we'll see if it pays off. We got it maybe a little closer than we would have liked. Kind of wanted to lay back to about 155-ish, but we'll take 145, take a little bit off this and see what we can do here. Going right at the pin, so that will help. Is it gonna hold? Just barely grabs the back of the green. Good thing that had some spinner. That could have been a tough start. Now the goal here of this challenge is gonna be bogey golf. We're gonna try to shoot 45 here on 9 holes. So leaving ourselves with a par putt on 1, off to a great start. Let's see if we can just 2-putt this, get away with bogey, and move on to see the second hole. Almost made a par there, just scared the edge, but we'll take a tap in for bogey, move to the second hole, 1 over par. Now the second hole is a shorter par 4, only about 290, so a short club here. Short club would help. I don't know if a 62-degree was really the best choice here, but we're going to make do with what we got. Now, not really sure how far this goes full swing. Don't know if I've ever hit this one full, so our strategy here to maximize distance off the tee is actually going to be to just completely blade this thing and hit as thin as possible, trying to get a nice little line drive, maybe even get some roll. And we did a fairly good job. I was actually able to hit this thing about 170 off the tee. Hopefully that never happens again. Would not be too useful to ever hit this club 170 on the course. Now, 120 left, still not going to be able to reach, so we're going to try to break this up in 2 shots. Hit this first one, not really the best spot to land it, but we did hit it 60 yards, cutting it exactly in half, so just trying to kind of repeat the same swing on the next one, and able to do a fairly good job, leaving this one about 10 feet from the pin, 2 holes in, and we've had a look at par on both holes. Now, tough to putt with the 62-degree, but we're going to try to just belly the ball, kind of hit right around the equator. Did a fairly good job there. Now, a little aggressive, but good aim will pay off, and we are in for a par, 1 over through 2. As we head to the downhill par 3. Now, about 130, 56-degree, not the worst option, but definitely not going to be enough to reach. Going to try to maximize the distance here. Now, we're not too worried. As long as we can get up by the green, we do have a wedge, so we should be able to have a fairly good short game on this hole. Now, tried to give that everything we got. Kind of wishful thinking there. There was no way this was really going to get there. Never really had a chance. So we ended up with a little greenside bunker shot, but no better club for this. We got the 56 in hand. We're going to give a little chip here. Should get this one fairly close. Maybe not the best effort. Chase this one a little bit further past than we would have liked, but nonetheless, we got about 8 feet left for par. Another good bellied wedge here with a putting stroke, and we have back-to-back pars. We are 1 over through 3 as we head to the par 4 fourth. About 355, one of the shorter par 4s on this course. 3-iron could be worse, Now, not really sure what the strategy was here. We were trying to kind of lay up to a full 3-iron, but that would have left us in the waist bunker, so we decided to just kind of take a little off of it and just get one out over there somewhere in the fairway rough area and make an easier approach shot, but kind of left ourselves with an awkward number here. We're going to hit it about 170-ish off the tee and leave ourselves a little less than that on the approach, so not ideal, but we're going to try to make do with what we got. We're going to aim decent amount out there to the left, try to kind of hold this thing off and slice one in there. Now, tricky approach shot, executed fairly well. Could have maybe went a little short, but we are on the green. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first birdie putt. Technically, that may be in the fairway, but we're going to call that a birdie putt. Now, a little in between here, the 3-iron gets a little tricky when you get near the green. It doesn't have much loft, so there is the kind of option to just press it forward and try to putt it. Now, we tried to just chip the first one. Not a great effort. The next one, we went back to the kind of classic belly, kind of hit the equator of the ball, putting stroke. We're going to see here, probably also not our best effort. So finally, for the third putt, so for the third putt, we are going to kind of go to that forward press, try to just de-loft this 3-iron to make it almost just like a putter. Probably would have been the best choice on the first putt. We waited until the third putt, and this one's going to just run by the edge and leave us from going birdie putt to a 4-foot putt for a double bogey. So not really our best effort on the green there with the 3-iron. We did pull off a pretty good approach shot and did a pretty good job of wasting it. So we are now 3 over par through 4. We head to the par 3 fifth hole, about 145 here. An iron would be ideal. A 3-wood would not. But that's what we got. We are going to grab 3-wood here now. It's going to be the first one. We're going to probably use a tee on here, maybe try to give a little more height. We're trying to be hopeful here that we can probably stop this ball on the green somehow. Don't know if that'll be possible even with the tee, but we're still going to try to slice it. That could hopefully give us a little chance of holding, but this ball's going to come up just a touch short. It was working back on a fairly good line. Maybe it would have been good if we hit another 5-10 yards, but that is about as bad a spot we could leave it. We are right in the face of the bunker. Now, tried to look for another option. Right was kind of just as deep a face. Left looked like maybe there was a little chance to get out. However, was going to leave us with a very tough chip kind of coming back over the bunker. So we decided just to leave it straight at the hole, kind of smash it into the face and hope that would kill it. Even if we went over the green, kind of okay with it. And this is going to be one of the luckiest shots we'll hit. Kind of ramped it up the face of the bunker. Don't know if we could have done that well even if we had a wedge. Nestled this one up into about 3.5-4 feet, and 3-wood being one of the easier clubs to putt with, able to just kind of put a decent putting stroke on this, and we are going to have our third par of the day. As we move on now to the par 4 6th hole, a little bit on the longer side, not really, but about 380-ish. We're looking to get an iron. A 7-iron, not a bad option here. Now, 380 with the 7-iron, probably not going to get home in 2. We're going to try to hug the dog leg here, see if maybe we can shorten this hole a touch, but not the best tee shot, so not going to really give us a chance. We're going to try to go back to the strategy of just kind of laying back on the second shot, giving us a full 7-iron in. We did aim for that bunker. That was intentional, trying to make sure we didn't go too close to the hole. However, we didn't intend on leaving it kind of on a side hill, awkward shot in. Now, this was maybe the worst swing of the day here. 7-iron, about 150, kind of in the go zone, and just made an awful swing at this one. Left it out there, about 20 yards right of the green, a little bit short, and leaving ourselves with a tough chip. This is going to test the short game here. We're going to open the face a little. Got a pretty good break there, landed in the rough just enough to kill it and hold it on the green. Rolled a little bit long, but we are putting for par. Now, the risk of trying to hit that belly putt is what we just saw right there. If you do get below the equator of the ball, it's going to kind of bobble and hop and not go nearly where you want, but it could have been worse. Luckily, that was a short putt it happened on, so we were able to still tap in, clean up for a bogey, and stay right on track. We now head to the par 5 7th hole. Really, anything but a wedge here is kind of what we're praying for. Driver, okay. Now, if we're going to hit driver, that was the club we were kind of most afraid of for this challenge, but driver, the best hole probably to have it on is a par 5, so we can see what we can do here. Didn't really plan too much, probably should have rethought it, but we just kind of attacked the first one and hit a pretty good drive. However, it does leave us with a little bit less than desired second shot here with about a kind of awkward 170, 180 shot. Could have maybe laid back and hit a full driver off the deck, but we're going to make do with what we got. We are in the fairway, and we do have a decent chance to kind of roll this one up there. However, that was not a great swing. Kind of turned that club over pretty quick and learned the hard way that there was water short left. So we're going to take our first penalty drop here, and we're going to then take our second penalty drop here. That was even worse. After that, we were a little afraid of that water, kind of chickened out, aimed pretty far right, didn't really hit our best effort there. Again, now we have plenty of green to work with on the right, decided to aim right at the flag and missed this one a little bit on the low side left. But we do finally get this ball to where we can putt. Driver, definitely the best club I found I was able to putt with. Kind of went with a little Bryson arm lock here and just kind of went off the toe. This was a little uphill 30-footer. We gave it a pretty good ride. Gonna come up just a tad short, and that will lead to a tap in for 9. And just like that, what was gonna be a cruise control for the last 2 holes comes down to having to par both holes. That was a meltdown. Now we're really gonna need to get a good club here. We got about a 350-ish par 4, a little uphill. 6-iron could be just about perfect. If we do the math, it's about 2 full 6-irons to get here. Now, we kind of saw that and said, okay, let's just put a nice easy swing. Got a little too comfortable. Forgot to realize it is a pretty far ways uphill. So the tee shot didn't quite get the distance we wanted, and it left us with about 185 up the hill. Now, 185 would be a pretty good number if we didn't have to go all the way up this hill. So we're going to have to smash this thing just to try to carry that bunker, give us a chance to make par here. And that was one of the better swings of the day. This is going right at it. Has a chance to almost drop for a 2, but leaves us with about 4 feet for a birdie. This could be the first birdie of the day. Much better look than we had back on the 3rd hole. Or 4th hole, rather, when we had that 3-iron. And this little 4-footer will find the bottom of the cup, getting us back on pace. 8 over par through 8 holes. Just need to bogey the par 4, 387-yard 9th hole. 5-iron could be possibly the best choice we had left there. So we're going to take this one off the tee, try to get as much distance as possible. We did think that it may be too much if we hit it good, so we laid back a touch. And probably shouldn't have second-guessed ourselves, should just kind of smashed it down there. Left ourselves again with kind of a good number, however, it was way uphill, so didn't think we had enough, tried to crush it, turned it over a little too much, and ended in probably worst-case scenario, back in the bunker. Now, we had some good fortune there back on that par 3 with the 3-wood hitting into the lip. Don't think we were going to be willing to take the chance, knowing we needed to make a bogey here. Kind of just opened the stance, opened the face, tried to just slide underneath it as best we could, and got away with a fairly good out there from the bunker. I would, again, even with a wedge, kind of take that shot. We'll take about 17 feet here. We got a par putt. Going to try to roll this one, just lag it up next to the hole, and give ourselves a tap in for 5, or maybe we'll charge it 4 feet past the hole. Probably not the best strategy there, knowing we just needed a 2-putt, but who doesn't love a 4-foot slider to finish off the round? And this just finds the low side of the cup, and we shoot 45 on the number. So a little bit of an up and down round there, but we were able to accomplish the goal we set out, which was 9 over par through 9. So mission accomplished. We're going to try this again. We may back up a tee box, make it a little more difficult, or maybe even bring in a guest opponent and try to play a little match play battle. So let us know down below if you're interested in being the next challenger on the One Club Challenge.